Rook here, bringing you all the new abilities, updates, and changes coming to White Mage in Final Fantasy XIV's next expansion, Endwalker. Thank you so much to Square Enix for letting me demo gameplay during the 2021 Media Tour this year. And a reminder, everything seen here is not final and may be subject to change. This is especially true for jobs, which are also currently affected by the downscaling of the game's numerical values, so don't panic. It's hard to get a real sense of how these all come together without playing them in-game within the context of our new content and scaling. What's new then for White Mage? White Mages now get 2 charges of Divine Benison, 2 charges of Thin Air, an upgrade from Glare to Glare 3, an upgrade from Holy to Holy 3, so Holy spam times 3 everybody, hold on to your butts. Aqua Veil, which is your new single target buff, and Lily Bell, which is the new capstone ability. Let's get down to the details. If you'd like a more general summary of what's changed, skip ahead. The ability listed on the screen remains unchanged, and the only ability that's been removed is Fluid Aura. Good riddance. Cure's potency has been increased from 450 to 500, giving it an 11% buff. Medica's potency has also been increased from 300 to 400, giving it a 33% buff. Stone 2's potency has been reduced from 200 to 190, a 5% nerf. Cure 2's potency has increased from 700 to 800, a 14% buff. Presence of Mind's recast time has been reduced from 150 down to 120, a 30% buff. Regen has increased from 1,200 to 1,500, a 25% buff. Cure 3 has increased from 550 to 600, a 9% buff. Holy's potency remains the same, but its mana cost has been reduced by 200, from 600 originally to 400, a 33% buff. Medica 2's potency has increased from 700 to 1000, a 42% buff. In addition, this potency has been buffed to both heals Medica 2 applies, 25% buff to the initial heal, and 50% buff to the heal over time. Afflatus Solus's potency has increased from 700 to 800, a 14% buff. Stone 3's damage has dropped from 240 to 230, a 4% nerf. Thin Air's recast time has been reduced from 120 down to 60, a 50% buff. However, it now only affects the next spell cast, which is done without any MP cost. The duration of this is 12 seconds, and it now has 2 charges. Stone 4 has been nerfed, taking its damage from 280 down to 270, a decrease of roughly 4%. Divine Benison's potency remains the same, but now has 2 charges. Dia's potency has been reduced from 720 to 660, roughly an 8% nerf. Glare's potency has also been reduced from 300 to 290, a roughly 3% nerf. Afflatus Rapture, meanwhile, has been increased from 300 to 400, a roughly 33% buff. The new Glare 3 has an MP cost of 400, and a potency of 310. It has overall fairly high mana efficiency. Holy 3, despite being brighter than a burning sun, does only 10 more than Holy, giving a potency of 150. Aqua Veil, White Mage's new single target buff, reduces damage taken by a party member or self by 15% and has a duration of 8 seconds, which at last brings us to the new capstone ability, Lily Bell. This places a healing blossom at the designated location and grants 5 stacks of Lily Bell to self, lasting a duration of 15 seconds. Taking damage will expend 1 stack of the Lily Bell buff to heal self and all party members within a radius of 20 yalms with a cure potency of 400. The effect of this action can only be triggered once per second. The healing blossom dissipates when all stacks are expended or the effect expires. Any remaining stacks of Lily Bell when effect expires will trigger an additional healing effect with a cure potency of 200 for every remaining stack of Lily Bell. Though I can't 100% confirm, from reviewing my footage, it does appear as though the heal on your party is based around the Lilybell's proximity, while the heal effect on yourself automatically heals you even if out of range. To break this down in just an easier way, you place a Lilybell somewhere around the field, much like Astrologian's star. You then get 5 stacks of the Lilybell buff on your buff bar. Any of your party members who are within range of the Lily also get 5 stacks of the Lilybell buff. If party members remain within 20 yalms of the Lilybell, when they take damage, 1 stack of that buff will be consumed and will automatically cure them for 400. Meanwhile, it seems as though, although again, not 100% confirmed, that if you take damage as the healer that cast it anywhere on the field, you will be healed. Overall, how's White Mage looking then? Having the numbers is great and all, but I'm sure some of you are wondering, what does that all mean? Essentially, all White Mage's healing and heal over time abilities were significantly buffed. Of the existing abilities, Medica 2 received the largest overall increase, a 25% increase to the initial heal when you use it, and a 50% buff to the heal over time that ticks afterwards, a 43% overall buff on the ability itself. This is a strong spell, and often used in periods of low incoming damage to recover the party's health and optimize uptime. I think this will definitely be felt. Damage for White Mage was tuned down by about 5% overall, but Holy's mana cost was reduced. Though cast times are reduced, global cooldown will remain the same. With all of our MP recoup abilities, this probably won't make that much of a difference, because you won't be able to spam more Holy than you normally can thanks to the cooldown, but it just won't punish you as much, I guess, for using it. White Mage may not have had the most drastic changes of all the classes, but coming off the solid foundation of Shadowbringers, I think it's moved forward nicely. We'll see how it holds up compared to Astrologian, who has far more buffs than its kit to use. But White Mage wasn't the only job I was able to play. Find my other 9 job summaries here on YouTube, including the Summoner rework and our new classes, Reaper and Sage. If you're interested in lore, give my old Charlie and Garlemald and Thavnair tour videos a watch to get a sneak peek into the meanings behind our new maps. And of course, where would we be without content and glamour? New dungeon info and artifact gear previews are also on that list. Stand tall, my friends, and remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Try out White Mage for yourself in Final Fantasy XIV's upcoming expansion, Endwalker, releasing November 23rd, 2021, with early access starting November 19th.